I'll edit around this, don't worry.
Fix it in post.
Fix it in post.
That's a little better. Nathan,
Right.
you look real good.
We're like barely doing anything here.
You're not gonna put like images over it, like oh we saw Split, and it's like Split.
I'll just do that. I'll be like,
This looks really good, I think, actually.
We'll just do like a nice hello on the count of 3, alright?
Okay, alright.
3, 2, 1. Hello! So we just saw Split, and this is slightly buzzed reviews because we're not really drunk, but we're just gonna do this anyway. We have Delane sitting over there.
Hello.
And Brian over there.
Maybe.
And they're gonna ask us questions about the movie, and we're just gonna answer them as honestly as we can. So.
I have a question.
Yeah,
All right,
Brian,
Brian,
go.
Brian.
So Split, what's it about?
All right.
Oh, what a
Nathan, you want to start? Split's about 3 abducted girls being held captive by a guy with multiple personalities. And so the whole movie, they have to try and escape while we learn more about this man's predicament and why he has such a strange condition.
Anything to add?
Who's in this movie, Nathan?
James McAvoy.
James McAvoy.
As young Professor X. Yeah, James McAvoy's in this. Is it Shyamalan or is it Shyamalan?
Shyamalan.
I think he would be slightly offended if you called him Shyamalan.
Shyamalan?
I'm
I think it's Shyamalan.
I'm sure he's been offended at people calling him Shyamalan.
He's like
for like 10 years.
I wonder if like they just called him like Shyamalan
Do you-
like in high school or something.
Well, now we'll call him, his name because he's decent movies.
Do you think whenever he's like at a coffee shop and he orders a coffee and they get his name wrong and then he just like goes up and be like, "Do you know who I am?"
Does he make people write Shyamalan?
Dude, you think you'd be artsy enough to be like, "It's Shyamalan"? Shyamalan.
What's worse, him going, "What's a name?" Shyamalan, or "What's a name?" M.
I don't know what his first name is. It's M, and then I'm guessing his middle name's Knight.
I mean, if I was him, I'd just go by like Shy or like
Shy Guy?
Just go, man.
Like, yeah, just Shy Guy.
I would just like give a white name. I'd be like, "My name's Mark."
But then it just defeats the whole purpose.
But like, if you're ordering coffee,
What's going on the internet?
Are you ready for M. Night Shyamalan's real name?
yes.
His middle name is not Knight.
Oh, okay.
It's
what's-
actually,
It's
yeah.
Manoj Nelayatu.
I just looked it up too.
Why would you go by why Knight then?
Because it sounds cooler. Would you rather be... Wait, what's the full name again? My name is Neliatsu Shyamalan, or would you rather be called M. Night Shyamalan? I feel like that comes off.
Then why not just go the full 9 yards and just go? If you're gonna make up like a pseudo name, then just like go with it. Like,
So you're saying his name's made up?
well, like Stephen King went by like a pseudo name, and then like I don't know, like
What was the pseudonym?
Dirk Diggler. I don't
Dirk
know.
Diggler?
No, Dirk
A
Diggler's.
porn name?
I'm just saying that it would make things easier to
American
just
Gigolo.
go the whole way rather than half-ass it.
I assume both of you are well versed at M. Night's filmography.
Excuse me.
Maybe mention that a little bit.
How does this movie rank in the...
What's sort of the elephant in the room?
How many M. Night Shyamalan movies have you seen? I'm gonna count.
I've seen a good portion, I think.
because I've seen.
I've seen Sixth Sense, The Village, Unbreakable, that god awful Matt Damon movie,
Matt Damon.
Oh,
Mark
you mean,
Wahlberg.
they look the
the
same.
That is
The
coming-
Happening. Was The Signs? That was
The Signs.
What?
After Earth.
Are you serious?
You didn't know he directed that?
Oh yeah.
How about The Last Airbender?
Yeah.
Like how many
and-
have you counted? 8? So I've seen.
I've seen about 7 or 8. Yeah.
I weirdly enough have seen his terrible work. I've never seen like Unbreakable or Sixth Sense.
I've never seen Six.
I feel like if I
It's the
watch
most
it,
overrated ghost story.
like
movie
I feel
you'll
like if
ever
I'm gonna watch
in your
because I
life.
know the
But
twist.
goddamn,
Everyone,
is it good?
I know the
The
twist.
twist is good.
Everyone knows the twist.
Everyone knows the twist.
That's why it's
That's
so
the,
good.
The problem is that it's so good at what it did that it became like.
It became
Sure.
like synonymous with the twist. So every time I think about it, like if I watch the movie, am I gonna enjoy it because I know the end result? I don't know. But I've only seen like his crappy work because I've seen the one with the trees and the wind, what's the happening, and I've seen
With
Last
Matt Damon, obviously.
No, Mark Wahlberg. Get your white people straight.
Memory
Airbender,
do you have on this
Happening.
thing?
I think I've seen I've seen half of The Village. I've never finished The Village. I didn't like it.
Start now, we'd run out of weeks.
Which is why we're starting this this whole thing on Split. I think I'm only
it tasted just vodka right there.
To answer your question, I've seen 3 or 4.
That
Shyamalan
long
movies.
to tell me you've seen 3 or 4 Shyamalan movies.
Leave
The
a
question is, where does Split
Ah.
fit inside that ranking?
So I would say Unbreakable is probably my top pick for his movies. I would rank Split probably like 3rd behind Signs. So it goes Unbreakable, then Sixth Sense, then Signs, and then Split probably.
This is the best M. Night Shyamalan movie I've ever seen, because I haven't seen many good ones.
How do you feel about James McAvoy's performance?
James McAvoy is the, I'm not somebody who's, like, an expert on, like, psychological disorders, so I can't really say much about, what it's like to have, like, split personality disorder. But, I mean, just from somebody that's vaguely introduced to the idea, he did a pretty good job, I would say. I mean, like, of conveying, like, the different, like, characters he had to play along the way.
So,
What I got from it.
I thought McAvoy was good. The only thing I was asking myself was, is he playing, like, his personas? Are they, like, would you see them as realistic people? He goes to the therapist, and he's, like, pretending to be, like, this artsy guy, but then they have this whole thing about...
Is he artsy or is he just gay?
No. He's, like...
That's
the worst thing I've ever heard you... I've never heard you say.
No, I'm not
ever.
saying that. I'm not
is
saying
he artsy or is he gay? He can't be both.
No. I'm not trying to be offensive with that. Is it supposed to be a caricature of what a gay they think a gay person is? So, kind of getting that to the point of what you're saying, like they're all kind of caricatures of what they think those people are, and so that's what I mean by that.
My opinion on James McAvoy. I thought he was great. Let me take off this coat and transition.
Yeah. So most actors do what they are given. So I'm thinking about this from the perspective of M. Night Shyamalan, who probably gave him, this is how I want you to portray these characters. Just go with it. So I think with what James McAvoy was given, which probably was a decent, okay amount, I think he did a very well done job, well versed with what he was given. Again, there's not much going off of that because M. Night has been not a great track record.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Delane.
Cheers to that.
Thank you, Delane.
Cheers to
that. Cheers to that. But to finish my opinion on McAvoy, I thought he really sold the movie. I think he was probably the best actor out of all of them. He definitely showed range, because he definitely wasn't shy about portraying these different characters. The one thing that I was really annoyed about, and this comes from the marketing too, was they're doing this whole thing about 23 different personalities. But do you know how many personalities we saw in the movie? Like 6. We saw 6 personalities throughout the whole movie. It was like, okay, we're just gonna deal with these 6 guys. Why bother bringing in the whole 23? But then I realized, like,
was that vodka with Sprite or Sprite with vodka? I don't know.
Did you spike his drink?
He asked for a drink. I made him a drink. It was about half and half, I would say.
Oh my gosh, you gave him half and half? This is almost full. Are you trying to kill him? So, to reiterate, I was just a little disappointed he didn't go full range with all his personalities.
Full Dr. Pepper.
Full Dr. Pepper, all 23. Next question. Okay. We're moving on.
That very end scene of Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
What the is that about?
So,
and where the is that leading to?
So there's a very popular trend that you can argue MCU started this or whatever, but there's this really sold idea within the movie industry that universes are the best damn thing for profit. And you know what? They're probably right. So I'm gonna go on the limb and say that M. Night put that little tidbit at the end there because I want to create a universe so I can make some more money off that.
Wait.
And you know what? He's gonna make more money off that.
Wait, okay, so let me ask you this question. Are you saying that Split wasn't planned to be within the whole Unbreakable universe, or do you?
No, I'm saying from the very get-go it was planned to be that.
So it wasn't just tagged on, is what you're saying. It was planned.
I would say a 50-50 chance.
50-50.
Okay, it's a very time dependent because think about it in the context of all of his past movies, happening and all that. The idea of universes within movies didn't exist back then. So yeah, they probably didn't have that in mind. It's the happening at the same damn time as the Sixth Sense. Who would care about that? Nobody. Right. But now that it's become a very popular trend, I'm gonna have to go on a limb and say that was the case. Maybe not when he originated with the idea of Split, but probably somewhere down the road, either within the pre-production process or during the production process, he was somebody probably pitched it to him, hey, it'd be a cool idea if maybe these guys, this character dukes it out with the brawny guy from Unbreakable.
So you're saying,
I just checked Wikipedia and I can confirm.
Wait, that actually happened?
Well, like, basically there was no plans for a sequel.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
No way!
Like, they kept, like, he was like, he was thinking about more stories and he wanted to write a fight between the two characters from Unbreakable. And
No way!
Money! Who doesn't want to see
So,
James McAvoy and
in
his crazy
2010
ass fight Bruce Willis and Samuel Jackson?
Yeah.
Right?
I didn't
Right.
know that. I thought it was originally planned. Alright, do you have a question for us? We have a dog, by the way.
I have heard in the past this movie was criticized for its portrayal of mental health. Thoughts?
This is the best time to talk
about mental health while mentally incapacitated.
Yeah.
Here's what I'll say.
asking-
Really bad. I don't know it.
Here's what I'll say. I'm
No,
gonna
purpose.
switch it. You know what was really weird? It seemed like conversations within this movie were not normal. Like there were a lot of scenes where just like people were talking. I'm like, do all these people just act crazy? Because they just talk like not normal people.
Are you talking?
Do you remember the scene where James McAvoy enters the car and the
Yes.
two girls behind the seats, the first thing they say when they notice a stranger is in their car is, "Excuse me, sir, but I believe you're in the wrong car." Would you say that in all honesty if someone broke into your car?
I mean, he didn't break in; he just walked in.
Right, first of
To a
all,
car that was not his.
let me put the scenario in front of you.
Okay.
You're at the mall. You're just sitting in your car. A homeless man opens the door and goes inside your car. What do you say?
Do you know he's homeless?
No, you don't know he's homeless. Maybe he's a schizophrenic homeless guy or whatever.
Maybe
Wow,
just
now
gets a
profiling. Let's just say a random guy just enters your passenger side of the car. What would you do? What would you say? What would
I
the
would
first
get
thing
out-
you say?
I would get out of the car.
You get out of the... You give him the car?
I'm not gonna stay inside
I mean, you know
the
what'll
car.
happen if you stay
He's
inside.
like,
Potentially
so you're
dangerous
saying
person.
the one way to get to the one way to get your car is to get in your car and then you just be like, I'm out of here.
So it sounds
It's like, alright, see ya later, 2018 new vehicle.
So you know,
Get out of the car and be like, "Sir, you're in my car."
But you just got out of the car.
As he's driving away with your car,
Well,
you're like,
I got
I'm
the car.
assuming I'm
please
in
don't
the
be so
driver-
rude and take my vehicle.
I'm assuming I'm in the driver's seat.
Right, yes.
Yeah. So.
Are you?
Yeah.
But you get out of the car.
Yeah, because
Then
this
he'll,
guy's
like, just
clearly
take the-
dangerous, and if I'm at the mall by myself, like I'm assuming it's nighttime or something.
Sure.
Like, yeah.
Let's go
like,
with that. So exactly the opposite of what those girls did.
this one.
I mean, and look at that, they're dead.
Did this go from?
If we're also talking about conversations, there was like a weird conversation that the therapist had with M. Night Shyamalan's cameo where she like over-exaggerated like the chicken wing or something like that. He's like, what is this radioactive material you have placed in front of, concoction you have placed in front of me at this moment in time?
Yeah.
I remember this in the theater because I've watched this movie twice now. And I'm like, who talks like this?
Okay, so there's some issue with dialogue.
There is some issue with just
There's
like...
an issue
I don't
with
think
M. Night
you know,
Shyamalan's dialogue.
Yeah.
I feel
In
like M.
every
Night
movie he
M. Night Shyamalan writes dialogue like aliens are trying to interpret how people speak. There's certain scenarios where I'm just like, I don't feel like that's normal. I don't know.
Does this have to do with the fact that is M. Night Shyamalan from the U.S.?
I think.
His English is fairly good.
Oh,
I'll say
he
that.
has
Is he-
really
is
good
he
English.
Okay,
Vita
so he was
says
His
Right.
English is good.
born in Philadelphia. All of his movies pretty much take place in Philadelphia. They wanted him to be a doctor, and then he was like, I want to make films. And so he applied to NYU.
Right.
He told everyone he was going to NYU. Then he went to NYU. And then,
Wait, so where is he from?
he's from Philadelphia.
Okay, so he's
Right, so
from the
yeah,
U.S.
yeah.
I just feel like he doesn't write dialogue like a
mean-
normal person.
But not everybody writes dialogue super well. I mean,
So you've seen The Village.
yes.
Okay, do you remember like the conversations they'd have in The Village? That was
Yeah.
that was cringy as
Yeah,
fuck.
Sounds like
yeah.
a different.
I'm curious. You guys think the female characters didn't have a lot to do in this
Oh
film?
yeah, the female characters were utter
Do
Two
different.
out of the three of them were kind of useless.
Well, here's my take on it. So, I think the main character was fine. I think a little more dialogue probably would have helped, but I thought she was ultimately fine. I mean, it's one of those movies where the monster is kind of the life of the movie. I mean, that's not always
Life of the party.
and that's not always a
Life of
bad
the
thing, though.
party.
I mean, like, think of it in the context of, like, Silence of the Lambs, where Hannibal Lecter steals the show. Now, that's not to say Jodie Foster isn't great, but Hannibal Lecter is the, like, captivating, like, figure in the movie. So, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing that James McAvoy does steal the show. However, maybe a little boost in, like, charisma or some sort of, like, where the main character takes a little more action, I guess. I don't know. I mean, she does a decent amount. Maybe just little more focus on her. The backstory was good.
Their
Backstory, like her
backstory, the whole abuse thing was good. I thought that was like.
Would you say that was? It's like because remember, like there's a scene where her uncle, whoever it was,
her uncle molested her,
and she had the gun on him.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the movie, she has the gun on.
But she didn't hesitate this time. She hesitated before because the uncle stole the gun.
Yeah, it's the overcoming a victim complex, I think is what it is. And I think that's why her character's written that way, is to overcome, like, I'm not the victim anymore, I'm taking back my...
That may make more sense now that I'm thinking about it.
But James McAvoy is also a victim of abuse as well. And so that's what makes the ending so, I guess, just so, like, sweet, I guess. It's just that both of them are victims of the same crime, and he acknowledges that, and that's why he doesn't murder her right there.
I think
I like that.
So... The one thing, so you asked me what I would change. The one thing I noticed is that, like, in the beginning of the movie, there was this whole scenario where the main character was apparently at odds with the other characters because she wasn't popular, and she was kind of, like, seen as an outcast. And what I really have liked, if that there was, like a contrast between their characters, like, in dialogue, if they actually, like, talked to each other more and, like, developed more of their characters, maybe had conflict within the room. Because I think the whole time in the movie, they just, like, are trying to escape. And then are, like, saying, like, I'm scared, or I don't want to be a victim, or what's going to happen to me, or something like that. They don't really, like, talk to each other. I think there's, like, barely any time where they talk to each other. Mm-hmm. And that kind of annoyed me a lot. And I feel like if, like, any way I would have changed it, it would have been, like, conflict between those characters. And if not, like, if it was mostly focused on McAvoy, I would just kill him earlier.
Do you like the movie?
I did like it.
Would you watch it again?
I kind of did.
I would. I mean, like, you know, with all its faults and just like we were talking about earlier about how the female characters aren't written super well, even the protagonist, I still think there's enough there with the story's fine. I think just James McAvoy's performance alone makes it just so damn entertaining to watch that, I mean, people are going to be excited for the new Glass movie, and why are they excited? Because this movie did well. So yeah, I'd rewatch it again. It was great.
Out of 5 stars, how many would you give it?
Probably a 3.5. I would watch a movie that's over 3 stars. If I give it 3 stars and above, I would rewatch it because there's at least 1 or 2 things that are good with it.
I already kind of rewatched it, only because you guys were watching it. I would probably rewatch it again. It would have to be a long time before I've seen the movie. But I would have to be, like, for mostly just McAvoy's performance. There's nothing really redeemable else about this movie besides McAvoy that would make me want to watch it again. I don't know, I just like seeing him go in and out of characters. His facial expressions, like, there were a lot of scenes where you would see him change character, and he would, like, just, like, you move his face in different ways. You would notice
this for me.
And you would notice that was a different character.
Drink it, please.
Oh my god.
Out of 5, I'd give it 3. I'd give it 3 stars. 3 out of 5. Alright, well, this train wreck of a review show is over.
I think that's
you guys have to, like, do, like, a little tagline.
Right,
Next movie is Scooby-Doo 2, Monsters
Scooby-Doo 2,
Unleashed.
Monsters Unleashed.
What year was that?
What year? Scooby-Doo 2?
2004.
I know my Scooby-Doo. And we'll end it on that.
Signing off.
Signing off. Alright, cool. We're done.
What a modern day 9-year-old might be is like, oh yeah, I listen to Kanye West music and a lot. Like,
what 9-year-old listens to Kanye West?
Oh,
you'd be surprised.
Oh, okay.
Trust me, this is also like...
Split.